brand scan itself, the entire thing was conceptualized by students. I think it was the 1993 batch who came up and said, sir, we would want to start something like this. They thought the whole thing on their own. And it is now in its 18th or 19th chapter now. No, 20th chapter, more than 20 years now. Another one is that quiz on the beach. It has become a brand by itself, entirely taught by students. They said, no, we will have a quiz. Lot of B schools do the quiz. We will do it separately. We will have it on a beach, and we will call it as quiz on the beach. And now it has gone international also. We do it in Dubai. This is again which was a student initiative. Logical propositions. So there is a problem with the mess food. You just don't go to Professor Debamalya and then say, we don't want this food. What is the problem? What can be done? If there is a problem in the hostel, the same approach. End-to-end management of whatever you take up. There will be a lot of opportunities. How many committees are there? Have any one of you learnt about that? I think there are some 17 committees in TAPME. We have committees for everything, right? And most of these committees are managed by students, and all the committees have their own activities for the year. We have a big event called Disha, where about 50-60 HR people from the industry come to TAPME, and the entire thing is managed by the HR forum. So right from starting to the end is managed by students, and we expect that. For example, brand scan. We do brand scan projects. We charge about 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees from the company. The entire fundraising is done by the students. The fund is managed by the students. End of brand scan, they give a statement of accounts, and that also is made by students. And they collect the money. Everything is managed by students. We appreciate aggression. We want you to challenge us, especially in the classroom. If you don't agree with a particular idea put forward by faculty, you must say, sir, I don't think I am convinced about this. I have some other idea. We appreciate that. If you are with the mindset that teacher is always right, this is not the place for you. And there are instances where the faculty will tell you, yes, I am convinced your argument is right, but I do not have an answer. I will study and come tomorrow and give you the explanation. That happens. The faculty will admit, yes, this is a new idea which I had never thought about. Probably this needs more thinking. Politeness with the word. You are our ambassadors. You know how many educational institutes are there in Manipal? We have a medical college, we have an engineering college. Do you know how many students are there in Manipal? I think about 25,000 students, right? And when you go out to Manipal, please conduct yourself in a manner that is befitting of a TAPME student. We have a reputation here. TAPME students are known for their good conduct. There is a difference. See, most of the institutions here are undergraduate institutions, whereas TAPME is a postgraduate institution. So, and also a lot of people with their work experience, 2 years, 3 years. So, it is expected that TAPME students will conduct themselves in a manner which is more mature, right? So, you should be aware of this. You should be aware of this. These have been explained yesterday. You should be aware of this. Has it been explained yesterday? 4.4. You should be aware of this course and credits. You should be aware of specializations. You should be aware of caps on electives. You should be aware of minimum registration for electives. These are the practices that we follow. Medical facilities it is started, no? You will all be given a Medicare card. We have a hospital here called Kasturba Medical College Hospital. The college is rated as one of the top 5 medical colleges in India, and the hospital is a super specialty hospital. Because it is a super specialty hospital, a lot of people from around the places, come here. So there is crowd, you will have to be a little patient there, but you will get excellent diagnosis and good treatment, right? About attending events, again there are a lot of events that happen, B school competitions and so forth. We allow our students to go, but not in the first year. First year is for getting your foundations and basics right. When you go to second year, you are allowed to attend events. Leave taking, fiction. There is nothing called leave taking. Then mobile usage. You will find that in every classroom there is a plastic basket kept. So you are required to keep your mobile in that basket. End of the class you can take it. But it is not really mandatory. You can keep the mobile with you, but the mobiles must be in silent mode. Silent mode in all respects. No SMS notification, no alarms, no telephone rings. Keep that in mind. You have 15 minutes time after the class, you can come out, probably use your mobile phones, but inside the classroom, no usage of mobile. The consequences are harsh, so you take a call. Develop reading habits, newspapers, magazines. How many of you read newspapers daily? Okay. I think all in all not more than 50, that makes 25% of the batch. How many of you spend on an average more than up to 30 minutes on Facebook and WhatsApp? Raise your hands. If you are using, raise your hands. No, I asked you a question. Raise your hands, I just want to take a call. Okay, right. This is absolutely important because one, it can, newspaper reading, especially business newspapers and business magazines, can make your class discussions more enriching and meaningful. If you have read something which is being discussed in the class, you can actually bring in that perspective. That's one. Second thing is, it will, bottom line, recruiters, they actually ask, what have you been reading, have you noticed anything in the business world, the recent developments and so forth. So that's very, very important. And again, it's part of culture. If you say that I will read Economic Times 10 days prior to placement, it is not going to help you. Be responsible while writing and speaking, right? Most of us Indians think in our mother tongue and then speak in English. Is that right? Yes? Okay. So we make lot of mistakes when we speak. Maybe we are not 100% grammatically correct, and we may end up using words which are inappropriate. But in India, that is okay. We all know. But while writing, you have all the time. No? When you write something, you can read it again and you can make changes. Somebody wants a class wants a quiz to be postponed because there is some other thing happening. So the class representative is requested by the entire class to send a mail to the faculty member requesting for postponement of a quiz. So the email comes, hi, because we have some other event, we want the quiz to be postponed. Is it the way you start that letter? No. There is a requirement that you should give an application in writing. So you give the application in writing, there is no date and there is no signature. Few years ago, during this event, brand scan, the students are allowed to stay outside the hostel till 1 o'clock because there is some work to be done. So they have to give an application to the warden. So the ladies hostel representative gave an application saying the ladies would like to stay away till 1 o'clock, please approve. So it was approved. So the boys hostel representative also wanted to give a similar application. He copied the same letter. So he said, we would like to stay away till 1 o'clock, so please allow all the ladies to stay away. This is what happens. So seek help, extend help. Like I mentioned, you go to any faculty member for any help, maybe they themselves will not be able to help you, but they will tell you where to go. Seek help from your seniors, they will help you. Seek help from your group members. From your group members, demand help. You may end up in a situation when there is a group task, smart ones may stay away from that work. Then you will end up doing all the work for the group. Do not accept that. Right? It is called as free riding. So I am in a group wale kaam karte hai. So let me stay away and enjoy life. Right? If you start accepting that, then you will be the horse they will go on flogging. Right? So director was saying, no, if you can go to Debamalya, you can go to Raghunath, Professor Raghunath for admin matters, they will all help. You can go to anyone you want, but don't come to me. Okay, cynicism and skepticism, keep that away. Kuch hone wala nahi hai yaar, that is not the right attitude. You remember what Subhash Chandra said yesterday? He said that please do not let these things overtake your faith. Have faith in, he said 3 things. What? He said in yourself. Next, he said you have faith in your friends. And third, he said you have faith in the system. Please do not distrust the system, have faith in the system. PDA, that is public display of affection. So you decide the proportion, you are all adults. Okay, so the coastline, I would like to warn you, west coast of India is very beautiful. It's quite enchanting actually. So towards the east, 40 kilometers from here, you have 600 meter high Western Ghats, and towards west, 10 kilometers from here, you have beautiful sea coast. And there are some beaches such as Kapu Beach and Malpe Beach and so forth. But the water there is very treacherous. People have lost their lives. And unfortunately, Tapmians have lost their lives. I remember 3 years ago, 2 years ago, one student, after the placement, he had secured a job in a good consulting company. So during the last term, he went with his friends, and it was a very, very tragic event. He lost his life. So please be careful. Even those of you who consider yourselves very good swimmers, do not take panga with the sea. Driving, you are not allowed to bring your vehicles, but second year probably when you get your bikes, please be careful with this, absolutely careful, because the driving here is very aggressive. You have all these private bus operators here, right? I mean, they are gods here, they decide who lives and who doesn't live, you know? It's like that, right? The problem is there are too many of them, different companies offering this service, and there is a intense competition. So they just throw all the traffic rules to the wind and drive the way they want. And since they are the big daddies, the entire population follows their method of driving here. Very, very aggressive, right? And keep one thing in mind, if you are a student and you are riding a motorbike and then there is a mishap, the mistake is yours only, because you are a student and you are riding a motorbike. You know, that is the mindset, correct? So be careful, absolutely careful, right? And the law. The police here are a little different. They work. Uh, they are proud people here. This part of Karnataka, this district has 100% literacy like Kerala. So they have high self-esteem. So the way you talk to them, you need to be absolutely careful. If you are caught, like in the rest of the country, you can't just pull out a note and say, "Lele yaar, bhul ja nahi hoga." He will just put you inside if you say that, right? So be careful. And we have an SP here. He is called as Manipal Singham. Okay, so Udupi Singham, I think. He's called Udupi Singham. So be careful. Talk to them. If you get into on a situation wherein you need to interact with the law, be polite with them. Talk to them with respect. They will speak to you with respect, right? And English, you can manage. People speak English here. They'll at least understand English and then answer in Hindi. That's not a problem, but be careful about these people. So that's all I had to share. Best of luck. Yeah. Next is yours, right?
Not to move out.
See, you take this. These are my slides.
Yes.
You can file it in the PGP.
Sure.
Because next year I may not.
Sure. Since there is this urgent need for a movement in the muscles, I request all the PGP 1 students to kindly stand up. Wow, that's a wonderful gathering here. Did you see the rains in Manipal? Some of you did, some of you didn't. Did you hear the rains in Manipal? Do you want to know how it sounds like when it rains in Manipal? Oh, well, one person said yes, and I'm going to take that. When I say 1, you're going to tap a single finger on your hand like that. When I say 1. When I say 2, you do it with 2 fingers. Are you with me? And I'm going to go to a count of 5. So I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you with me? All right. Fingers up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, boys and girls. Please be seated. That, ladies and gentlemen, was how it rains in Manipal. The reason why I wanted you to hear this is, some of you might experience this kind of a rain in person in my office. Your seniors have a sort of a different opinion about me. If they tell you nice things, don't believe it. If they tell you rude things, trust them. And like how you heard from all of our previous speakers, Professor Natarajan, Professor Guru, and all of yesterday, tough days ahead, guys. Really, really tough days ahead. I am hoping that you've read the PGP handbook. Even if you haven't, it's all right. For the time being, I'm going to run you through it, and then you can possibly go home and as a homework, read it. So let me lead you through the PGP guidelines. a quick look on credit distribution. For the PGDM, in the first year, you have terms 1 and 2. You will earn about 17, 21, and 23 credits. In the second year, your credits will be somewhere between 53 and 55. You will be given an option to choose one area in a major and one area from a minor basket. The major areas that have been slotted for you are from the areas of HR, finance, marketing, and operations. When it comes to minor, we have 2 additional areas, IT and general management. You may choose one area from the major and another area for the minor. Are we clear about that? So you can't do a major and a minor in marketing. You might want to choose marketing as your major and let's say finance as your minor or whatever. You earn 12 credits from your minor basket and the rest of the credits come from the major basket and about 15 credits come from a couple of compulsory courses. Okay? You have ample time to decide what you want to choose. Could be operations, could be finance, could be marketing, could be HR. We are not pitching in for it. You're the ones who are going to think about where you want to be and make a choice. You can read more about this in your handbook. The HCM students have a slightly different bunch of courses, and because it's a specially designed course, you really don't have much of a choice as far as electives are concerned, okay? Because all your courses are very HCM oriented. So I think you just have about 3 courses that you can choose as an elective, but not much of a choice out there. For the BKFS students, I will not spend too much time for you because you have a special orientation tomorrow. Yes, Professor Jadhav and Professor Madhu will be talking to you. So I think I'll leave you at that. I think you'll have a better insight of all what is in store for you as far as your courses and credits are concerned. That'll be tomorrow for the BKFS students. This is something that you've already been run through. We have a practice of classroom instructions, simulations, case discussions, role plays, industry interface, on-field market research, and some in-house student activities. All of this will contribute to your learning while you're here at TAPME. Let me warn you, slide after slide, it's going to get a little tough, okay? So what my experience about the PGP guideline is that initially it's all right and relaxed, and then there is eerie dead silence towards the last slide. And I'm looking forward to that. Your examinations will be mostly in terms of quizzes, announced and surprised. So don't tell me, oh my God, you never told me. No, we don't say things, we do things. So you might just have one morning when you think it's the happiest day of your life, one of us will just come and ruin it for you. So just be prepared all the time for quizzes, and then don't come back crying saying, oh my God, I really should have known, I would have prepared. Like Professor Guru said, there's no second chance here. Midterm and end term are some of the most serious components of the evaluation. However, they are not the only components. Essentially, a 2-credit course will have at least 3 evaluation components. And a 3-credit course will have at least 4 evaluation components. And my experience with my observation is that most of the courses have at least 5 evaluation components. So you have ample space to, sort of gather and accumulate your points. So please be completely aware of where you can score well. And before you go for your final exam, for your end term exam, your scores will be displayed for you. So you really know where you stand with that 70% or that 60% that you have earned. Okay? This is how the grades look like. Now let's be clear about this. Every course is graded relatively. So if you have 6 courses, each of these 6 courses, you are graded relatively. Now at TAPME, we believe that we are not bad in everything. So you may be a A plus or a B plus in some courses. One odd course, you may be a D minus or a D. Just one course, not all. So what happens is even if you're really bad in one course or one subject, it won't affect your overall. I hope you all know how the CGPA is calculated. Yes? The GPA of each course is cumulated and then your CGPA is calculated. So there is no way that anybody should get below 4.4 as a CGPA. Yeah? So A plus plus a C plus plus a D plus plus a B plus plus a D minus will not result in a GPA, in a 4.4 or less GPA. Are we clear about this? So please be very careful. Don't be bad in everything. That's not a good thing. So this is how your grading system looks like. My favorite. We do not have re-examinations or supplementary exams. We don't have that. So what you do in the first attempt stands valid. You got to maintain the minimum prescribed standards for each stage. Yesterday Professor Guru had mentioned to you. Term 1, 4.4. Term 2 plus term 1, 4.4. That's the minimum, huh? I'm not even looking at that. Term 1 plus 2 plus 3, 4.4, and so on. At each term, you should have got a CGPA of at least 4.4 to be moving forward. And students not fulfilling these standards will be asked to withdraw immediately. It's a bit of an awkward situation for us at TAPME to actually send out a mail to you saying, dude, thank you very much. And it is very, very difficult for the student to take it. We completely understand. And we don't give you any time. You're asked to vacate the premises immediately with effect. The day the results are out and you fall below 4.4, you hear a call from the PGP office and we will say, you don't fit the bill, so. And immediately you will also hear from the hostel saying you got to clear the hostel room. I hope you understand the repercussions of all this. So please be very, very careful not to bring yourself to that. I'm going to personally mail this slide to you. Yes, please. This slide is going to come to you, all of you. It's the most figure in your life. A reiteration of what your GPA must be at the end of each term. Please have a look at this thoroughly. And I would suggest at a personal level, if you were my kid, I would have told you, why are you even looking at 4.4? You don't belong to that category. I think all of you belong to a 8 and above, or you wouldn't be here. So I'll ask you a question. And I'll wait for the proof after the end of term 1. Is there anybody here who feels that you cannot score a 5 in term 1? Wow. That's fantastic. So I'm going to turn around and tell the rest of my team, we don't have to worry about batch 2015-17. That's wonderful. And stick to that, huh? Stick to that. Okay. Do I need to say anything more? Now let me define to you what is attendance. It is mandatory in all courses. In all courses. We have our classes starting as early as 8:30. Badri smiling. We have our class starting as early as 8:30. That means you got to be up and running by at least 7:30 to have your breakfast on time. And don't skip breakfast. That's a bad habit. You got to sustain yourself for the whole day. Which means you got to wake up really early because you want hot water. Get yourself a watch that works. Get yourself a mobile that has at least multiple alarms. 550, 555, 665, 610. Yeah? And make sure the snooze button is non-operative. We have had instances where the student has turned in 1 minute late and the student was told to go away, and absence of that sort will lead to a subgrade. A subgrade means you would have scored a B and we will give you a C or a C plus. 2 absence, C minus. 3, D. Okay? Now, I don't even want you to look at this. But I don't have an option because it's written in the PGP book. If for some unforeseen circumstance, God forbid, you have to miss classes for a long period of time, then the cap on that is 13 days. It could be health reasons. It could be severe issues like that. We had a case last year. She developed a severe skin infection and she had to withdraw because she couldn't attend classes for more than 13 days. If under any circumstance you have to miss classes, then more than 13 calendar days will invite a withdrawal notice. Okay? For reasons such as health, domestic and non-institutional, we do have a bit of a allowance there of about 30% in each class. Now, we have 24 sessions. What is 30% of 24 sessions? Come again? 7? I can't hear you. 7. Now, in a day, you have about 8 classes. So, even if you take off 1 day, 8 classes are gone. Across the courses,